Hello YouTube, it's the Crafty Missy here. Today I'm starting a new project. In this project I'm going to make myself a little doll. Now the doll I'm going to make will have some clothes too, but this video will concentrate on making the dolly first. I'm filming this project as I go, so hopefully in the end I have a nice dolly to show you. This is the pattern that I drew and cut out of just regular printing paper. And I cut it out as a whole because I want to make this doll as easy as possible. I haven't made a doll before, so I plan to use this pattern as a whole, and I'll see how that goes. And the fabric that I'm going to use for making this doll, you can see here, this is simple linen fabric. And as you can see, I've folded it in half so that I've got two layers here, and I'm simply going to pin my pattern onto this cloth. Then I'm going to draw all around it with my pencil, and I'm going to cut it off with some seam allowances around it, and then I'm going to sew it, and then I'm going to be back to show you what I will do next. So I hope you enjoy this journey of making my little dolly. Alright, so now I have pinned my pattern onto my fabric, which is folded in half, and now I'm starting to cut it off. And I'm cutting it off, leaving this little seam allowance, and I will cut through everything, and then I'll be back. Okay, so now I have cut out my doll from the fabric, and as you can see, it's in two layers. I've pinned it together. And I also embroidered the face at this point. Mine is very simple, a little lopsided, because I like that kind of look. I've got two wooden buttons for the eyes, and then I have just embroidered the mouth here with just pink sewing thread. And the reason why it's here inside is because obviously I'm going to turn this upside down. I'm going to turn this over so that this part here, the inside is going to be the outside, and this is going to be the inside. But my next step is to sew this together. I'm going to pin this head so that it's easier to sew. So I'm going to sew along these lines, and then I'm going to cut off any excess seam allowance that I might have here, and I will also clip a little bit into these rounded ones because that will make it easier to it will look better when I turn it over. So I will do that, and then I will be back. Okay, so now I have sewn my doll together, and I've also cut the excess seam allowances because those would make it difficult to turn this doll over. And what I'm going to do next is I left the top of the head open, so I can turn this doll over through this, and this will take some time, and I will use a pen to do that. Obviously this has a cap on so that it won't stain my doll, but I will help this to push this these limbs through the hole there so I can turn it over, and then I'm going to stuff it, and then I'm going to hand sew the top closed. So see you in the next phase. Alright, so now I have turned this over. It wasn't as hard as I expected. I used my pen a little bit, the tip, but otherwise it was quite easy. So I have also ironed this a little bit, just pressed it flat. And the top is still open. And the next stop for me is to fill this with filling. This is the kind of filling that you use in dolls and teddy bears and whatnot. And I'm going to fill this doll so that it's not too tight, not too full, but kind of soft to the touch. And then I will be sewing the top closed. And you know what? Then I will be ready with my doll. But I'll come back to you when I've done that. Alright, so my doll is now finished. I've stuffed it with a filling, and then I have turned it to the right side, obviously, and then I put in this hair. I just cut strips of embroidery floss that is this kind of like brownish reddish color, and then I just put them on here with a needle, and then I tied them up with a couple of pieces of lace. It looks very primitive, and that's what I wanted. I wanted a primitive looking doll. It's a bit hard to get it to fit here at one time, but this is what it looks like. And now I'm going to start making clothes for my doll, and I will definitely be showing you those too. But if you would like to get this pattern, I can definitely try to put it on as a PhD. No, not a PhD. My goodness. PDF. PDF file. And just a few general instructions there. But leave me a comment if you would like me to put this doll up as a pattern. But this was a quick make, and this is definitely not big enough to be given to a small child, and especially if you give it to a child, you have to take really good care of how you're gonna put the ice and the hair on. But mine is just gonna be for decoration, so that's why it doesn't really matter. But anyway, yeah, this is my doll, and now I'm going to start making some clothes for her. I still don't have a name for her. If you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments. But I hope you enjoyed watching this video of me making this doll. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.